Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of What If, the series that asks what would happen if gaming looked just a little bit different. And like a lot of people stuck in the many quarantines of 2020, I have played a lot of Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been a fan of the Animal Crossing games since about 2008, when I was a kid playing Let's Go to the City on the Wii, or what is actually called City Folk in other countries. That's weird. Why did they change the name like that? Anyway, I know that doesn't make it seem like I've been a fan for long, considering there's only been like 2 main series games since then. 3 if you count Happy Home Designer, I suppose. But considering just how long it takes Nintendo to release games in the main series of Animal Crossing, since I would probably call Amiibo Festival and Pocket Camp spin-off games, more so than actual series titles, that is a long time. So you can imagine my hype when trailers for New Horizons started to be released after 8 years of waiting for a new game. Needless to say, I picked it up as soon as it came out, which just so happened to be my birthday actually, which was nice, and then spent the majority of my quarantine playing it. Okay, I know I don't have nearly as many hours on the game as some people do, but this is a lot for me, okay? Don't judge me. I do have a complete fossil collection and a nearly complete fish and bug collection, if that's any indication of just how much I've been playing this game. Okay, I'll stop whispering now, bye. All of this is to say, I love Animal Crossing, and I have for a long time. And this love for the series, and New Horizons in particular, got me thinking. As you probably know, Animal Crossing is a 3D game, with a third-person, semi-top-down perspective, depending on where you put the camera anyway. But what if it wasn't? What if Animal Crossing was actually a 2D game, in the style of, say, Stardew Valley? Why Stardew Valley, you ask? Well, the main reason is because the two games are actually quite similar, in the sense that they're both open-world games that allow you to basically do whatever you want throughout the day. Both games also give you a variety of different characters to meet and befriend, and also allow you to buy and sell things to decorate your home with. And also because I really like both games, and also I found a really good tutorial that taught you how to make a pixel character in the Stardew Valley style, so what would Animal Crossing look like if it was a 2D game instead of 3D? Let's find out, shall we? Now, before I begin describing the actual drawing process of this piece, I need to clarify a couple of things first. Firstly, I need to specify that there isn't going to be any sort of new plot or gameplay elements being shared like I did with the Among Us video, since this video is purely asking what Animal Crossing would look like in a different art style, rather than as a different game altogether. Secondly, I really need to give a shout out to the video that basically made this entire video possible. I have never made pixel art before, so I had absolutely no idea where to begin with creating a character in that style, let alone an environment. So I ended up looking up tutorials on YouTube, and I found an amazing video by Dylan Designs Art called Draw Yourself as a Stardew Valley Villager. This video was super easy to follow, and I'm really happy with the results I got from it. And I also learned a lot about the more technical aspects of Photoshop while following the video as well, which was a nice little extra on the side. So thank you, Dylan. I will leave a link to that video in the description if you want to try following along with it yourself. Anyway, that's all of kind of the housekeeping stuff I need to get out of the way, so let's get to the actual drawing process. So when I first came up with the idea to turn Animal Crossing into a 2D game, I knew pretty much immediately that what I wanted to draw to represent this idea was a screenshot of this 2D Animal Crossing game, as if the game was running and you'd just taken a photo of it on your screen or whatever. To do this, I ended up having to design an entire pixelated environment, which, let me tell you, was both challenging, considering again I have never drawn pixel art before, but at the same time it was super fun and actually kind of relaxing in a weird way. I think it was just like the repetition that came with painting each individual pixel and sort of the slow, melodic build-up of the piece as a whole that really did it for me. It was just really relaxing and just a nice process overall. But boy, did I need a lot of references. As a base for this entire drawing, I used a screenshot from my island on the Switch, which I thought it was a good idea at first, because it gave me a layout and a framework to put everything else onto, but once I started getting to the colouring, it became a little bit painful. Since I took this screenshot both in January, when my island is still covered in snow, and at night, I basically ended up having to just ignore all of the colours and just guess them as best as I could. I don't know why I just didn't change the time on my Switch and take the photo again, honestly. It would have been so much easier if I did, but I just didn't. I guess I'm just lazy, I don't know. Despite all of that though, I think the colours still turned out pretty accurate. It definitely could have looked worse. Now, like I said before, I had the tutorial to base the characters on, and as you can see, I tried to replicate my own character in New Horizons as best I could. And Tom Nook too, because why not? But when it came to the background and the houses and stuff, I started to have a little bit of a harder time. I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do with the background at first. As you can see in the speed paint, I actually started to try and trace the reference screenshot at one point, but eventually I landed on taking some references for pixelated houses and rivers and other stuff I needed from the internet, and using a similar method to the one I was just taught in the character video. And in the end, I really like how it turned out. The scaling of everything was a bit hit and miss at first, because I wanted to keep the closer top-down angle that Animal Crossing already has, rather than scaling it way back like Stardew Valley does. But eventually I got everything where I wanted it, and overall I am really happy with the result. And with that, I think we've covered just about everything there is to say on this one. This wasn't really like a complex process, there really wasn't that much to share here, so yeah, this was a bit shorter than the previous one, I guess. That's nice. Let's take a look at the final result, shall we? And there we go. Like I said before, I'm really happy with how this whole thing turned out, and I feel like I've learned quite a bit over the course of making this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching this, and like before, if you have any ideas for future videos in this series, or want to share what you would have done if you were making Animal Crossing 2D, put it all in the comments, because I will try and read everything. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with another video soon. See ya!